Well, the money in American politics is really confusing
Yeah.
because, like, for example, like you saw the New York Times article about dark money that came out like
Yeah.
a week ago. Like, I mean, that to me is the most appalling story in American politics that I know of, where the money that $2.4 billion that decided the 2020 election, no one knows where it came from. Some of it came from foreign sources for sure, but nobody knows where it came from. Now, 1.5 billion went to the Democrats and 900,000 went to the Republicans. So
900 million?
sorry, 900 million. Yeah. Did I say billion?
Billion. You said 900,000 went to the
Oh,
Democrats.
right. My Canadian small time politics stuff. But that's and so you and then there's the other fact that, like, while Republicans are pro business and so on, like 70% of American GDP comes from Biden voting counties. That seems to me like one of the key facts that's going to determine the future of this country in civil war or out of it or at the end of it. And so, like, I think there's that I will acknowledge I find it confusing. Like where money goes to, where is coming from, like what it is supporting and what it wants.
I find it confusing that certain political causes are objectively they're accepted to receive money or to be on the board or write a check to, and others are not, because those causes are aligning more and more.
Well, the
towards
Koch brothers
people's
wrote
beliefs.
a lot of checks. I mean, the Koch brothers wrote a lot
Coke.
of checks.
No, they
Koch brothers wrote
do.
checks.
No, they do, absolutely. But I mean,
Freudian
like,
slip.
but you're never going to go to a Knicks game and at the halftime show have them give a $500,000 check to this political cause. But you will see it for something like Black Lives Matter. You will see it for something like Planned Parenthood. You will see. So the philanthropy of politics, I think, has become very, very divisive because certain philanthropic groups are tolerable and others are not.
And real quick,
Yeah.
it's only one Koch brother. The other is
Right.
passed.
Sure. Right.
But just,
Yeah.
I thought that was relevant.
Well, I think they also stopped giving money to political causes too, like a few years ago. Like
There's-
I think they give it to like reform things. They just decided they're not doing partisan politics anymore.
There are a lot of wealthy individuals that are willing to fund either side. Peter Thiel's
Well,
got a
that's
lot of
it.
money and
Right.
infrastructure.
I mean, the
tons
point.
of money,
The point
yeah.
is really not who is giving money to who. The point is, like, all this money is destroying the system and making it inherently unstable. And there's also the politicization of everything, which is where you have homophobic chicken and you have LGBTQ positive cookies.
Oreos or something.
Where like literally every aspect of life is politicized. That also is classic prelude to civil war.
But this is
Right.
an interesting point because potentially what was the start of the culture war, depending on who you asked, Gamergate, you're familiar? This was a lot of people who identified themselves as left libertarian on the political spectrum being angered that everything was becoming political, because you had these quote unquote news organizations, video game news, and video game companies increasingly putting very specific ideologies in their games, and people were upset with that.
Right.
So they would agree with you, like, why are we politicizing everything?
Please don't bring me into Gamergate, man. I mean, my life is hard enough.